So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Deathwatch, they got a codex supplement. They got like a re-release, and my god, some of these kill teams are just awesome. What's up everyone, welcome back to Theory Hammer. I am the host, you already knew that, and today we're going to take a deeper look at the Talonstrike kill team. So strap on your jump packs because this is going to be a unit that you're definitely going to see and you're going to end up playing with or against if you're fighting Deathwatch or playing Deathwatch. And first and foremost, feel free to casually thunderhammer the like and subscribe button, the Nurgle bell, all that stuff. We have other videos as well, so check those out. And we do have a second channel where I get very angry playing video games. So if you want to melt your brain listening to me scream, go take a look at that as well. Alright, so shilling has been complete, my lord. Initiating Talonstrike kill team breakdown. Let's look at the datasheet. Now, you may also hear my cat in the background eating food. I apologize, they were hungry and I had to feed them. So what I'm going to do here is actually start with the unit composition, because these kill teams are just crazy, the things you can take. But basically what we're doing here is we're going to have one sergeant, we're going to have 5 heavy intercessors with jump packs, which are just Inceptor guys, and then we're going to have 4 other intercessors with jump packs. That's what this unit composition is. If we're the kill team intercessors with jump packs, we are toughness 4, we know we move 12, got 2 wounds, we're a space marine with a jump pack. That is what we got. If we're a heavy intercessor with a jump pack, so an Indomitor, or not an Indomitor, there's too many of them. I literally just said it and I can't remember already. Inceptor, that's the one. Toughness 6, moves 10, 3 wounds, 3 up save, so that's what we're working with here. For ranged weapons, we can either have the Assault Bolters, which are 3 shots, strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. They come with Twin Linked, they come with Assault, they come with Pistol, and they come with Sustained Hits 2. You can take a Hand Flamer, everyone else is like the regular Intercessor guys, they're going to have heavy bolt pistols. The Inceptor guys could also have the Plasma Eradicators though. Strength 7, AP 2, 2 damage, or Strength 8, AP 3, flat 3 damage. Again, Assault, Pistol, Twin Linked. They do become hazardous like all Plasma for Space Marines, so that's just a thing you're going to have to deal with. And then you can have up to 2 Plasma Pistols in the unit as well. And so that helps you a lot with your hazardous tests. For melee weapons, all your Assault Intercessors with jump packs, they're going to have the Astartes Chainsword, so Strength 4, AP 1 with 4 attacks. Everyone else just has combat weapons, so Strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage, 3 attacks. The Sergeant can have a Power Fist, so that's Strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage with 3 attacks on the 3s. You're not going to take the Power Weapon, and that's pretty much what we got here. Now, we come with Deep Strike, obviously. Look at us. We have jump packs. We're jumping off of Thunderhawks like Titus does in Space Marine 1. We have Mission Tactics, Oath of the Moment, and then we have our Talonstrike Doctrines. This is where things get interesting. Each time this unit is set up on the battlefield until the end of the turn, improve the armor penetration characteristic of weapons equipped by models in this unit by 1. That includes all of your guns and all of your close combat. And then, melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have Lance. And so if they make a charge roll out of Deep Strike, they just charge you. You know, I just thought of something. If you get out, can a Land Raider transport guys with jump packs? I'm pretty sure it can, right? What if you put these in a Land Raider and just jumped out of a Land Raider and then you were like, okay, I don't have to be deep striking. I can be 3 inches away from you and then charge you. But that's what we get. So now all of your Assault Bolters are AP 2. Your Plasmas are AP 4. All of your weapons, all of your combat weapons, all your chain swords, AP 2. All of your regular attacks, AP 1. They're all +1 to wound. We do have an attached unit ability here. Basically, a jump pack captain can attach to this unit. There is like one other thing, which is a chaplain, but you're not going to do that. Because the chaplain gives them +1 to wound. They already have +1 to wound. You're just not going to do that. So you got 2 intercessors that can take a plasma pistol. The sergeant guy can take the hand flamer, which becomes AP 1, possibly more if you do some other stuff, which we'll get to. And then you can either have the assault bolters or the plasma eradicators. So that is the datasheet. That's what we're working with here. They do also have grenades, which is something that the regular Inceptors do not have. And I always like to mention whether or not things have grenades. So these guys have grenades. If we put it all together, this is what we got. AP 2 bolters, like I said, AP 2 bolters or AP 4 plasmas, an AP 1 hand flamer, and then 16 attacks at strength 4, AP 2, 1 damage, 3 attacks at strength 8, AP 3, and then 15 attacks at strength 4, AP 1, all with +1 to wound. So that's like our baseline. Now we have to combo some stuff together. We have our detachment rule. We have Oath of the Moment as well. So that's our baseline. Now we get to combo things together. And first we got our detachment rule. And that is probably on screen now, but it's you got your 3 different tactics. You have your Fervor, Malleus, and Purgation. Fervor gives you sustained hits 1, which you don't need on this unit because their assault bolters have sustained hits. You have the Malleus, which gives you lethal hits, which you do want if you take the plasma guns. And then you have the Purgatus one, which can give your stuff lethal, precision on critical hits. It's fine, but we really care about the Malleus tactics and the Fervor tactics for either sustained or lethal hits. We then have Oath of the Moment. So now all those lethals or sustained are re-rollable. Now for this unit, depending on which weapon we take, we're either going to want to take, so if we're taking the bolters, we want lethal hits because they have sustained hits already. If we're taking plasmas, we want the sustained hits on the plasmas, and so that's what we would give them there. And then we want to do this for a few reasons. Bolters have sustained, we're going to give them lethal, so that's just straight up better. The other reason is that mathematically speaking, sustained hits on the plasmas do more damage. So why would you ever give them lethal hits? So okay, nice. We have 15 attacks at AP 2, damage 2, sustained 2, with lethals, with full rerolls. Or we have 10 attacks at strength 8, AP 4, damage 3, with sustained 1 and rerolls. I like the way that both of those look, like a lot. And we also have some pretty nice strats as well. Some very good strats as well. 3 of which can give them a nice little damage boost. Mainly 2, but 3, we'll say 3. The first one that we have is Kraken Rounds. This strat gives you +1 AP and adds an extra 6 inches to the range characteristic. So now you have a 24-inch range. You already had a 10-inch move on the Inceptors themselves, and so now you have a 34-inch threat range instead of a 28-inch threat range, and that's just great. But dude, now you're AP 3 on your bolter shots, or your AP 5 on your plasma shots. That's disgusting. Let's see how much damage they can do to a couple of things. And I think I'll probably go back to doing this, which is just damaging specific units rather than showing you those chart of wounding and save, and then I just didn't like it. So if we're shooting a Plague Burst Crawler, we're gonna do 12 damage to that thing. If we're shooting a Hammerhead, we do like 18 damage to it. If we shoot a Leman Russ, bye-bye Leman Russ, 15 damage for you, sir. If we're shooting a Land Raider, 15 damage to the Land Raider. If we're shooting against a Knight, we actually only do 10 wounds to a Knight. But if we shoot at something like a Terminator Squad, we wipe half of them. And this damage is the exact same if we give them the Dragonfire rounds. We just replace that +1 AP with Ignores Cover. Because in all of these examples, I'm assuming that you're getting cover. Now if we're using our Bolter Boys, so the Assault Bolters, we're going to give them lethal hits. And it's going to end up doing 18 wounds to a squad of Space Marines. That's 15 of them dead if they're not in cover. That's 12 of them dead if they are in cover, and that's basically all of them dead anyway. That's 9 of them dead if they're in cover with Armor of Contempt. And I didn't shoot the other plasma pistols or the flame or anything else, just the assault bolters. If we shot at something like a battlesuit squad, we get 16 wounds. So you're gonna kill like 2 or almost 3 if they have a 4-up invuln. If they're just like a squad of burst cannons or something like that, ones without a 4-up invuln, that's gonna wipe all 3 of them, and you're gonna do damage to the commander. Against like a toughness 9 vehicle or something that's toughness 9, you're looking at 2.5 lethals on the first one, which is also 5 sustained hits. You're looking at a 12.5 rerolls there. That's going to give you another 2 lethal hits, which is another 4 sustained hits. And then with the actual like regular hits, we're going to get like 6. So it averages out to 15 actual hits with 5 lethal hits. And if we're wounding on 5s, you're looking at another 8.5 wounds, plus our 4.5 lethals, which totals to 13 wounds against whatever, if it's toughness 9 and I'm wounding on 5s. So if it's something like a Rhino, you're looking at close to like 18 wounds done to that Rhino. Now, something a little bit harder to destroy would be something like Votan Terminators. You're only going to do about 13 wounds to them as well, because you're wounding them on 5s as well. They're going to get a 3-up save with Armor of Contempt and in cover, and so you're going to get about 4 of them. Not great damage there. If you're shooting at an actual Terminator squad, you only get like 2 or 3 of them if they use Armor of Contempt, so you're going to want to go with plasmas against something like that. If you're shooting like a guard unit, you're going to get rid of 12 to 15 of them, depending on if they have cover and if they also took cover. Something like a Cursed Cultist would end up in the same boat. You're looking at 12 to 15 of them dead because they have a 5 invuln with a character attached. If we go for Hellfire rounds, we really don't gain a benefit there, like at all, like barely. And this is because we already have Twin Linked, And if we're going for a bit more wounds, we're going to lose +1 AP or ignores cover from Kraken or Dragonfire rounds. And so it ends up kind of averaging out to about the same amount of damage against most targets. So pretty reliable damage output, unless you're going after like the absolute hardest targets. Like you do 15 damage to a Land Raider with your plasma guns. You kill half a Terminator squad with your plasma guns. And so against those really hard targets, you can still get it done when you take plasma. Now, I'd probably run a unit of plasma and a unit of bolters if I was playing Deathwatch, or maybe I would just take 3 Indomitor kill teams. But if I wasn't doing that, I'd probably take a unit of plasma and a unit of bolters. The strats that you have will also affect your pistols in the unit as well. But if we have already used sustained or lethal hits, that's still whatever, because we just use adaptive tactics. Boom, now I have what I want. And I get it on another unit because the Raiders. So our shooting output can be quite good here. And we do have our combat to take a look at as well, because that's relevant. With our 16 attacks from the Assault Intercessor dudes in the unit, we're looking at about 2.5 lethal hits on the first roll. We get about 8 hits total, and then those 8 hits will equate to like 4 wounds, maybe more, maybe less, just depends on what we're hitting there. Plus the extra 2.5-ish, what's 2.66, so plus the extra 2.5 lethals. And those are all at AP2, and so that should do some chip damage there. If we're hitting our Oath target, we're going to be getting an extra wound or so if we reroll all of our misses. But then we have 15 more attacks from the Inceptors themselves. That's another 2.5 lethal hits, possibly 4.5, and then possibly an extra 2 or so. And that's if you're using armor, or if you're using Oath of the Moment. So that's going to do a little bit more chip damage. This unit is definitely better in combat against like lighter infantry, but we do also have that Power Fist. It's about a half a lethal wound. It's about 1 actual wound, maybe a bit more if you're wounding on 2s because of the +1 to wound. It'll total out to be like 1.5, 2 wounds at AP3, 2 damage. Your combat is not amazing by any means, but you are looking at about 12 wounds at AP1 or 2 for 1 damage, a couple wounds at AP3 for 2 damage, and that's if you're hitting something really hard. If, you know, you're probably looking at, like, if you're going after something that you would actually want to be fighting, you're probably looking at closer to like 18 wounds or so at AP1 or 2, and then you got your fists in there as well, which can definitely hurt some infantry for sure. Might kill a Terminator, maybe 2, probably 1, but you want to be fighting like infantry with this unit after you blew up the tank with your plasma gun shots. Now, another strat that you can use on them if you need to get away from the enemy is site-to-site teleportation. You just pick them up, and another unit, because the Raiders, and you just casually give them one of the best abilities in the game if they don't have it, which is you put them into reserve and gain Deep Strike. So now it's my turn. Coolio McGoolio. I'm going to Deep Strike over here, Blasty McGunburgers, and then I'm going to try to charge. And yes, Mr. Opponent, I do in fact have other units in my army that do as much nonsense as this unit, just in different ways. But you can also attach characters to this unit, and those characters can have enhancements. And the only character that you care to attach to this unit is the Jump Pack Captain, like I said a little bit earlier. And this adds more than just damage output for combat. This adds in free strats, but definitely adds damage output because Thunderhammer he's swinging around and giving his entire unit +1 strength on the charge. So now they're strength 5 with AP1 or 2 with lethals probably, and +1 to wound with full rerolls probably. And they can Deep Strike, and you have strats to put them into reserve, and then you can rapid ingress them with a captain if you need to. So there's that. You can give him the enhancement for them to rapid ingress for free, but I think if you're taking him, you probably give him the Thief of Secrets, probably. So that makes his Thunderhammer strength 10, because the enhancement and his ability when he charges at AP3, damage 3, with +1 to wound. Oh wait, no, it's actually AP4, because the enhancement makes it AP1, and then they get AP1 on the turn that they arrive. Yeah, so it's actually AP4, probably with lethals, most likely sustained hits. That is absolutely going to destroy at least one model, and if he lives through that next turn, his Thunderhammer will then be strength 11. Naturally, it'll be AP4, and it'll be flat 4 damage. So what that means is he's just going to blast off over to something else and then smash it in the face and destroy it too. And even if he's the only thing left in the unit, like the entire unit got wiped out and this character is the only thing left, who cares? I have a bunch of attacks at strength 11, AP4, and flat 4 damage. He might be strength 10 because he's not attached to a unit anymore at that point. But yeah, AP4 and flat 4 damage, dude. If you just have one guy left, he's +1 to wound and he's strength 11, he's really, really good. The other enhancements are good, but that definitely seems to be the best on him. He's also adding that kind of damage output to the unit that he's with, and since they don't all hit that hard by themselves, he really can add a lot there, and he's making stuff free. So here's how I'd probably use this unit. I would deep strike it in, I'd blow something up, and then I'd try to charge. Ideally, it would be somewhere relatively safe, and then I'd pick him up, and then I'd do it all over again. It's pretty straightforward stuff. But what else can you do with this unit? Well, I think there's actually something pretty interesting and good, which is you rapid ingress them, which, you have lethals up on your army, so you rapid ingress them. You overwatch, that's 2.5 lethals and 5 sustained hits, 5 extra hits. Those 5 hits would be twin linked, and all of the wounds are AP2 now. If that's your oath target coming toward you, forget about it, dude. You get close to like 5 lethal hits and 9 regular hits. If you also planned to like rapid ingress and then use them to heroically intervene, well, they have Lance that turn because they just came down and they're +1 AP on all of their weapons, and then they get the +1 strength from the captain. So it is a 2 CP trick, but man, that sounds like some bullshit to me. So you're going to want to screen this unit if possible, if you're playing against it. You're then going to want to keep them locked down if you can get to them. I'm not confident that you could nuisance charge with them if that captain isn't in there, but if you could keep them in combat, you could prevent them from jumping up. But even then, they can shoot you in combat with those big guns because they have pistol, and you can still give them the ignores cover or extra AP on the guns with the strat. And so the other option is to just shoot them or charge them with like dedicated things. They will die to stuff. It's only 25 wounds with a 3-up save, no invulns. It's just not that durable, So I think that because of their cost, they're actually pretty hard to use properly. It's almost 400 points with a captain, which isn't absolutely necessary, but you're going to want one, and it's going to be nice to have. And that 400 point unit, it usually can't deep strike into the middle of the table and trade very well. It's meant to be more of a surgical unit that gets picked up and put down in positions where it's able to target singular things, and then be supported by other units that can kind of move block or prevent them from being charged. And you're kind of also relying on a 9-inch charge on that deep strike with no pluses to the charge roll. And even with a CP, your odds there aren't amazing. But this unit is quite good. I think you will definitely see at least one of these in most Deathwatch armies, because you just don't even need the captain. Like at sub 300 points without one, all while being able to do basically the same things, I think there is an argument to be made that they just don't need him. I'd probably run one with a captain though, personally. So that's the Talonstrike team. And we do have more of these units to cover in other videos, so if you guys liked the video, make sure you assault bolter that like and subscribe button, Thunderhammer Nurgle's bell, check out the other videos and the other channel, and leave comments and all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to jump back on out of here, so theory hard, and I'll see you back at the lab.